good to see you. You get fairy dust, I get fairy dust, Amelie gets fairy dust. And we are talking about Codependent No More. Melody Beatty, we're in chapter 4, page 48. We've been going through the codependency characteristics, and we are on lack of trust. So the previous video to this, I went through each of the lack of trusts, but I want to say one more thing about the lack of trust that we have. One of the things is, just to understand the origins of this is that, we couldn't trust ourselves, we couldn't, other people in our lives weren't trustworthy. We couldn't depend on them for our wants, needs, desires, help, peace, like it just, and we were always waiting for the other shoe to fall. And the thing is that it just kept falling and falling and falling and falling and falling. And so now we're adults, and now we're out here trying to have our new relationships outside of our family of origin. And then we find ourselves repeating the pattern. And then we say, see, I can't trust anybody, when in fact, it's all about the people that we're attracting are based on the entrainment, the kind of relationships we were raised with and how people treated us. And so we attract people that will continue to treat us that way because we don't know any different. And we can't help it. It's not our fault. It's just what is. And that's the reason we have to do our advanced hard ass fuck, advanced personal growth work. Like, it's just the only thing that will change us. Like, it's the only thing. And so we're determined. And so a lot of codependents will get in these relationships and their trust will be broken again, partially because we have avoided red flags, partially because of our other codependency characteristics. But we'll say a thing like, see, I can't trust anybody anymore. See, I can't anymore. And so that's why I invented the ladder of trust, which is a tool that I use every single day. And I don't need you to teach you the tool right here because I have a little series. If you will look on a playlist, it should just say the ladder of trust. And I think you get 3 or 4 videos to teach you. But the crux of it is that we actually don't need to live our lives we don't have to wonder whether we're going to trust somebody or not. Like, we can even give up that. Like, we can just sacrifice that. Like, kind of in the same vein, people say, well, see, I can't trust anybody, but then notice they do again. It's more of like, you could say the same thing. It's like, trust and verify, or I will trust one thing and one thing only, and that's behavior. I will trust behavior. I will not trust words, I'll trust behavior. And as long as the words and behavior continue to coincide with each other, that I have evidence that if you say you love me, but you treat me like shit, I am not going to believe the I love you part. I'm going to believe the you treat me like shit part, because that's the behavior. And so part of getting conscious, part of doing our homework in codependency is to decide to become an adult. A lot of this work is about truly growing up. And, those of us who have codependency issues, that our experience is so little, like we're just little babies out in the world, just willy-nilly trusting and not, it's we don't have the bandwidth, we don't have what it takes. And so we'll say something like, well, I'm not going to trust anybody anymore. And that's what a child might say. Fine, I'm not doing that. Or you can even say it in a mean way. I will never trust anybody again. But still, that's somebody that's not actually mature. And I'm offering you a different way to live, a more adult way to live, a more checked in way to live, is that I am willing to trust there's part of the ladder of trust that says healthy people can trust one rung of the ladder, and if we get disappointed, it's going to be okay, we can handle it. Or if we can't, I mean, I don't know why we couldn't, but if we get one rung, like any of us could get on a ladder and fall, and we climb on the first rung, and then if we fell off, we're actually going to be okay. We might get a bruise or two, but we're probably not going to break a limb or anything like that. We might just be like, well, that was unfortunate. Like, I didn't wear the right shoes on the ladder. I didn't see this coming. Or even if we're completely innocent, that there's nothing on our part that should have or could have been different, that we will say, oh, it's just one rung. But if we fell from the top of the ladder, that's not great. That won't go well. And so that's when people say that they will never trust any. But what we're going to do is we're going to trust one rung of the ladder, and that's behavior. And how we know where the other person is on the ladder is through behavior. So I encourage you to go watch those videos. I encourage you to live by it. I'm telling you, I use it every day. I use it every single day to figure out what the fuck is going on. In my Advanced Manifesto that I wrote, that I'll have a link to it, that advanced bitches trust their gut, trust their instincts, trust their acumen to know what the fuck is going on in any situation. And that's one of the ways I do that, is through the ladder of trust. Like, you can tell me, you can try to convince me of something, but if I don't see the evidence, there's no reason for me to believe it. Like, you can promise me the moon and the sun and the stars, but if I see no evidence of of that, that you're promising. And also the people that trust, like the people that say like, oh, I'll love you to the moon and the stars and the sun and all that, but then treat me like shit. It's like, no, bitch, like, that doesn't fly. That's not what the sun would do for me. That's not what the moon would do for me. And no star is going to be passive aggressive to me. So no. So I'm not going to trust that. I'm going to trust behavior. I'm going to trust your actions, because your actions, the thing I say about the ladder of trust is people are screaming to us the where they are and what they believe. And they're just trying to let us know, except they just don't use words. They're trying to let us know with their behavior, they are going to continue to treat us like shit. And it's in their behavior. There's nothing contrary to that except words. And words are cheap. Words are fine and they can be great. But the only ones that I trust are backed up by behavior. So I hope that, and so for me, it's a huge tool. It's an antidote to this all these lack of trust. We don't trust ourselves. Well, we'll find out if we use the ladder of trust on ourselves. That's the last video. Don't trust our feelings. Well, we will once we start living by the ladder of trust and apply it to ourselves. An example of that is I think I might feel sad, or I might feel I might be sad about what happened. So something in a conflict in a relationship, I might be sad about that, and then walk away from it and then think, oh, maybe I shouldn't be sad. No, they're probably being nice. It's probably just me. That's how we get lack of trust with ourselves. So we stop doing that. So if we walk away from something and we say, fuck, that didn't go well, or I feel really hurt by that, well, then I'm going to trust that something happened in which I was hurt. End of story. Don't trust their decisions. No, I'm going to be an adult and I'm going to make lucid decisions, and then I'm going to deal with the consequences of those choices. I can never choose wrong. That's another thing. This isn't on the Bitchifesto, but this is just a truism for advanced bitches, we always fucking win. Advanced bitches always fucking win, because we either get what we want or get more information. And don't trust my decisions? Hell yes, I do trust my decisions. If I make a bad one, fine, I'll live with the fucking consequences. But I will not I will not second guess my decision. I mean, I do sometimes because I will go unconscious and then I get support so I don't, or I throw the ladder of trust on it. I'll be like, well, yep, there's that. You know, how many online things have I joined since the pandemic and not attended? How many? How many? But that doesn't mean I don't trust myself. I know that when I set it up, I thought, well, at least I'll start doing these online classes, exercise class, so that when I go, so that when everything's open up, I might know some people. I might have already made some connections. How many times have I done it? 0 times. I need to learn from the ladder of trust. I do not do well with online subscriptions. I just don't. And that's also something I noticed from, I had a little membership program going on, and what I noticed is that people didn't use it. That it wasn't a helpful way, you know, so I don't feel bad about my decision to do that membership thing. It was something that people do, and many people, wise people, advised me to do it. And I thought it was great at the time, but then the data showed me differently. Well, guess what? Advanced bitches always win. I got the data. I don't regret my decision. Did I waste money? Yes. But I take that in as part of my decision making in the future, like to really go through the cost benefit analysis of making another decision like that. So I'm never going to beat myself up for my decisions, and I'm going to trust the me that made that decision. I know the me that made the decision to do the online exercise class, she had really good intentions. She was like, yes, we'll get connections and also we'll get a little exercise. Okay, well, now we have to look at the ladder of trust. My thoughts and my wonders and my behavior, my desire, like, let me join for these reasons, I'll get these things out of it. What's the data showing me? It's showing me I'm down here, I'm not here. If I was here, I would be taking the classes. Join the class, take the class. Now we're on the same rung. But with myself, it's join the class, never go to class. Okay, well, for me to be healthy, it's time for me to come back down and face the reality of the way that I am and the way that I work. I'm not going to feel bad that I don't do an online class. I'm not going to feel bad about that. It just doesn't work for me. Everything everybody else does not work for me. And so this is one of those examples. This is a thing that a lot of people do, and it unfortunately does not work for me. I'm sad about it because it would be really great. So guess what I did? I figured out something else that would work, and I'm working out. And so I'm so proud of myself. I'm trustworthy. I'm going to do this particular workout. I want to do it. I'm paying to do it. And now I'm doing it. And so now I know more. I have more data of what works for me. It helps for me to be accountable to somebody. It helps for me to have a structured program. Like, it's very, very helpful to me. And so now I know more data about myself, but I don't feel bad at all. And the reason I'm harping on why I don't feel bad is I want you to have the same feeling. Like, this is what it feels like. Like, imagine how freeing it would be to never feel bad about the decisions that you made. And we're going to make a lot of bad decisions. I have made many bad decisions, like lots. And for most of my life, I was so vicious to myself about those decisions. And do you imagine can you imagine how little progress I made? Instead of beating myself up, I could have been looking at the data to know myself more. I beat myself up instead, and that brought me nothing but misery. So that is my 2 cents on the lack of trust. We just use the ladder of trust with other people as well, and that's what it was made for. But then as I went along, I realized, oh, I can use it on myself too. So I hope that's helpful. I hope you enjoy those videos. I mean, it's a game changer. It is a game changer. One of the things, and you'll hear me when I teach it, I give examples. One of the things that might be helpful are more examples. So I think I'm going to figure out a way how to maybe coach somebody through the ladder of trust, and then have that recorded so we can learn through experiential training too, so we can learn through like how it actually works in a relationship.
I hope that's helpful.
Love you. Bye.